Hello students, today we are going to discuss creating a query in Microsoft Access. We have two ways of creating a query. One is with the help of a query wizard, one is with the help of a query design. Alright, so do remember these two, okay? Query wizard and query design. Now let us first discuss how to create a query in the design view. The design view gives us more control because you know the internal structure of a table, okay? So according to that, you can create a query. Alright, like for example, in the student table, we know that we are having roll number, father's name, class marks, address, and city, right? So we know the internal structure, we know that these are the only fields. We also know that the roll number is a primary key in this table, right? So based on this, we can create. So what we have to do is we have to open the database and click on the create tab, like so. Then we have to go to query design under the others group. Then will be shown two tables. If your query is related to only one table, you can include only one, but if it is based on both, you can select both and click on add, okay? So this first student table, we add, okay, because the query is based on only one table, so we'll be adding only one. Now this thing displays the list of fields of the first table student. Now we need to double click on the field names to add them down. You can see the pane below, the design grid. So you have to drag the fields, like in the first one we have got the roll number, in the second column we are having the father's name, right? In this there are a few things to note. One is that what is the field? I'm reading it from below, okay, where your marker is right now. The field is roll number and the second field is the father's name, right? And then we are having here the table names. The first one is also from the student table, the second one is also from the student table. If you need sorting, you can switch it on from here. If you want to show or hide, then you can see these check boxes down here. You can select or deselect them, right? You can specify some criteria here. If there is more than one criteria, you can write it under the or section. Okay, let's proceed. Now in the design grid, this is the thing. The first thing is the field. You know, the meaning of field is the column, okay? The second is the table. Third one is the sort. If you want to sort it on the basis of a roll number or a grade or even the numbers obtained by the child, that you can do. You want to show or hide, you can click on this check mark. The field with the check mark displays the information when the query is being run. Otherwise it hides, okay? To hide the field during the runtime, deselect the check mark. In the criteria, you can give a condition on the basis of which the records will be filtered. For example, you want to see only the 8th class or the 9th class, okay, that you can tell here. Or is for the multiple criteria, if you have more than one criteria, you can use this. To add all the fields present in a field list to the design grid, what you need to do is, you can see at the top, we have an asterisk sign, right? This asterisk sign, when you bring it down, that means that you want to include all the columns in the table. Alright. Then, let's see how to specify a simple criteria. This is where we have to write the condition. Let's understand it with the help of given example. We are already having a student table with us. To view the roll numbers and the names of the students of class 8, we double click on the required fields in the table so that they are shown down in the design grid. You can see we have got roll number, father's name, and the class. Right. Now we want to see only the class, so we will write in criteria equal to 8. Right. If you want to sort it according to the father's name, you can select ascending from there. You may save the query, give it any name you like. Right, we press OK. Here we can see that we have one table on the left hand side, that is the student table. After that we have the student's query. Right, query, as you know, it's a question. Okay, so we have prepared a question just now. So on the basis of that, we have to see the result. Now what we have to do, we have to click on the close button here so that the query is closed. And now we want to run this query. So what we have to do is, you can either double click on the query like so. Okay, see, now we are having roll number, father's name, and the class. Right, and you can see that we have got only class 8 students. You can even click on this run. This is the second way of running the query. To zoom in the current field in the datasheet view, we press Shift plus F2. Anyway, specifying simple criteria. Now, similarly, we can create relationships between two or more tables on the common fields and retrieve the required information using the query. Now we discussed how to specify multiple criteria. That is, if we have more than one criteria. For example, you have class 8 and grade as A. Two things are there, marks and grade. Two things we are telling now. So let's see how to specify multiple criteria. To specify multiple criteria in a query, we follow the given steps. Suppose you want to see the records of class 8 as well as class 9. Then move the cursor to the criteria row. You can see it here. You give the condition equal to 8 in the class field. And then in front of or you write equal to 9. And we give it a name, student query 2. Now when we run the query by clicking on the run button, or might be by double clicking on the student query 2, you will get this result. Here the thing to note, children, is that you are having 8 and 9 both, right? Both 8 and 9. But in the student query 2, what was the criteria you gave? You gave 8 or 9. And you might be thinking, why are we writing or 9 over there? Well, there are two words in this. One is and one is or. Now you think for a moment that we select 8 and 9, right? Instead of or, I write 8 and 9. Then do you think any child would be in class 8 and class 9 as well? No, that is not possible, right? A student will have to be in just one class. So that is why it is 8 or 9 in this case, and not 8 and 9. Okay? Fine. Now, because we already know how to do the queries, let's see the forms. You might have heard about a form in which you fill the information, right? Any information. Like it could be a Google form, it could be your admission form, right? Anything. Now, what are forms used for? Forms are used to collect the information, okay? It could be on a piece of paper, all right? It could be a Google form on the internet, all right? Now, let's see how to create forms. Forms in Microsoft Access 2007 were quite similar to these type of forms which we were talking about right now. So our main motive is to collect the information. Although Access provides the data sheet view, which is a convenient way for entering the data, but it is not an appropriate tool for every data entry situation. So what to do? Sometimes when you work with different users and do not want to expose your confidential data, you may choose to use Access forms to create a more user-friendly interface. Right in front of you, like this one is, it could be used as a form, right? So you are having the father's name, you're having L name, date of birth and all, right? The last name, I mean, the first name, last name, and the date of birth. It could be used, fine. But see below this, where he's writing test table, this L name, F name, DOB, this is a very convenient way, right? Because one person is shown just his own record, right? So this is a very convenient way. So if we change a record in a form, it will be reflected in the table also, because both are connected, okay? Data can be inserted, updated, deleted from a table by using a form object. Access provides three main views in which a form is displayed. Now form view, this is a form view. See, form view, layout view, and design view. You see these three types of views in this, right? So let us start from the design view. Design view we did in the queries also. So it gives you a more detailed view of the structure of a form, such as the header, detail, footer sections, etc. Then the layout view is used to change the appearance and size of the various controls. Let's see how to create a form. To create a form, select a table or a query on the basis of which we have to create a form, because we want a source now from where to pick up the data. So click on the Create tab on the ribbon. After Create, go to the form. A new form is created and opened in the layout view. This is the layout view. Just remember the look, okay? So you will notice that the two new tabs are formed at the top, the format and the range. So if you want to edit or enter the data in the form, click on the View drop-down arrow in the Views group. So you can select any type of form from here. Then we use the record navigation down there, see there? First one, last one, previous one, next one. After finishing the data entry, save your work by clicking on the Save option in the Quick Access toolbar. From here, give some name to the form. Okay, so you will observe that the form object gets added in the navigation pane. Then we see how to format a form. You can change the appearance of the form by using various options available in the Format and Arrange tab. Using the Format tab, see there at the top, it is highlighted now. You can format the font, the size, the color, alignment of the labels, add a logo, do some title change, or some color of the text boxes, grid lines, etc. using the various options present in the Format tab. Then we have the Arrange tab. You can arrange the layout of the form, control the alignment, and set the positioning of the form. With the help of several tools present on the Arrange tab,